In a season where teams are finding it easier to score away from home, the New Orleans Saints discovered Anaheim's end zones rather accommodating.
Haber will throw underneath, wide open Hilliard. Inside the 10, making a move. Just like that. Touchdown!
Well, that looked easy.
The Saints had it easy all afternoon as they shut down the league's third highest scoring offense. And just plain ran away with the game. Dalton Hilliard's third touchdown of the day set the Saints home free from the cellar of the NFC West. Playing at a home away from home this week were the San Francisco 49ers. And while everyone's mind was still on the past week's events, both teams tried to make the afternoon as entertaining as possible.
Hand off to Tupu, pitch back to Grogan. Rolls to the right, throws it long downfield. Morgan wide open. Razzle dazzle, Patriots!
Although the defending world champions at first appeared a little preoccupied, the 49ers reverted to true form in the end. Despite a slew of injuries that added to the distinctly bittersweet flavor of the victory, the 49ers displayed some of the right moves for a return to the Super Bowl. The Giants are off to a start that has New Yorkers talking Super Bowl as well. But with all four of their remaining road games on the West Coast, they will have to cover a lot of ground to get there. Behind the strength of two O.J. Anderson touchdowns, New York built a 14-point fourth-quarter lead.
Tips hands off, Carthon turns the corner, lost the ball, fumble, Chargers have it, and they're going to score, Vince Glenn.
Vince Glenn's touchdown may have thrilled the home crowd, but it served little other purpose than as a footnote in another loss for a punchless San Diego team. Might makes right is law in the jungle. And with 12 victories in the last 13 games played at Riverfront Stadium, Cincinnati was feeling mighty powerful. The Bengals led 12-9, but 4 plays in the final 2 minutes changed the course of the game.
Breaks one tackle, lost the football. Pickett has got it. The Colts at the 15-yard line. And the Colts have a goal-in opportunity. Trudeau drops the throw, sends up, look, lofts in the end zone. Touchdown, Bentley! Albert Bentley with a 3-yard touchdown reception. He was wide open. Trudeau got...
Albert Bentley gave Indianapolis its first lead of the game.
Boomer drops the throw, pressure coming right up the middle. Esiason throws over the middle, intercepted! He's picked off by the Colts. Keith Taylor again. He's at the 20 out of bounds. His second interception today.
The handoff into the line goes Dickerson. He's at the 20, running wide to the 15. Touchdown! Boy, made that look easy.
Dickerson's kind of pulling up lame a little bit as he works his way out of the end zone, but hey, his afternoon's over with anyway. He's done the damage necessary.
The Colts are sure winning ugly. You know, you can't praise their offense, you can't praise their defense, but to me they're like a bunch of street fighters who will really slug it out with you. And the final result, they have some good, tough wins. Later, their general manager, Jim Irsay, he'll do back to pack. Sack the pack is not back today. We second the pack.
The new-look Packers didn't show much respect for the once proud Dolphins last Sunday.
Oh, what's up, Barry? You all right, baby? You all right? You all right, Jim? You didn't even get hit.
But it didn't take Dan Marino long to put them in their place. By way of his 34th career 300-yard game, Marino led the Dolphins to a 2-touchdown advantage.
Here it is, drops the throw. He looks right, across the middle. He's got Clayton, touchdown. Clayton took it right away for Mark Murphy, the strong safety.
Good job, Dan. Way to go, Mark. Good catch.
Miami's passing attack was performing at peak level, and Green Bay's defense was in disarray.
That means they're going to take that gap and that gap. You still there.
That's what I did.
No, you still here.
No, I didn't, Hank.
I'm telling you where to fill.
Okay, listen up. Listen up.
God, listen to me.
While the Packers were having difficulty communicating on defense, quarterback Don Majkowski was finding it impossible on offense. And under the pressure of trying to match Marino's vintage effort, the NFL's newest passing star was losing his poise.
Gotta get up under center, or if you can't hear, turn around and look at the official. There's no sense trying to force fit that now, especially when you're down close to the goal line. All that noise right there is going to get bounced back. Just turn around, look at the official. He'll stick his hand up.
Lindy Infante steadied his quarterback and prepared him for a fourth quarter that would test the nerve of both teams.
Look, steps up into the pocket. Now wants to run. Rolls to the right. Throws to the end. Wide open. Down sharp. Handoff goes to Stratford. Eludes one. Cuts it upfield. 45. Gets to the 49. Fumbles the ball. And let's see if they're going to call it. No. Green Bay gets it. Stratford gives it away. And he's hurt. He is hurt. Green Bay gets the football back. And Majkowski back to pass. Looking. Steps over the middle. Wide open. To Sterling Sharp. Right on the
Way to go! Way to go! Way to go, Stevie! Way to bring it home! Way to bring it home! Way to bring it home!
We own them, man. We own them. They can't stop us.
Hey, you all right, dog?
We own them all game. Yeah, I'm all right.
That is big time. Let's go, baby. That's just big time.
Green Bay's big-time comeback evened the score with just 53 seconds left. But even a little time can be enough time for Marino, who completed 3 quick passes to move Miami into field goal range.
If he makes it, the Dolphins win. If he misses it, we'll have an overtime.
Just like practice now.
Awaiting the snap. Here it is, set down. Kick is up. He's on his way. It's going.
Congratulations, Don. Good luck to you around here.
The way we lost the first couple games, it was devastating. Yeah, I was just so happy. I mean, it was just great to see it go through, and that's all I was looking at, was through those goalposts.
Like the Dolphins, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have been a bright surprise in Florida this season. The once hapless team has climbed to respectability, but on Sunday, the Redskins look to set the young Bucs up for a big fall.
And in motion comes Art Monk. Rippon looks that way, looking toward his left, goes toward the corner of the end zone. Touchdown! Gary Clark made the catch.
Mark Rippon threw 2 scoring passes to Gary Clark as the league's #1 rated offense helped stake Washington to a 29-7 lead. Meanwhile, Tampa Bay's offense was limited to just 58 net yards in the first half, as the only early Buccaneer spark came from their special teams.
And the Buccaneers are coming after it. It's blocked! It is blocked at the 35. Picked up by the Buccaneers. He's got a convoy ahead of it. Buccaneers to the 10, to the 5. Touchdown! Ricky Reynolds!
Ricky Reynolds' touchdown was the Bucs' lone score through 3 quarters as Vinny Testaverde constantly found his passing lanes filled with Redskins, especially cornerback Darrell Green, number 28. Green's blanket coverage helped keep the Buccaneer passing attack under wraps. But in the 3rd quarter, Green was forced to leave the game with a dislocated bone in his wrist, along with a bruised knee. allowing Testaverde to go to work against his rookie replacement, number 47, A.J. Johnson. Johnson was burned on 2 of Testaverde's 3 touchdown passes in the fourth quarter, as Vinny pecked away at the newly vulnerable Redskins secondary to finish with more than 300 yards passing on the day. The rejuvenated Tampa Bay attack cut Washington's lead to 4 points, but in the end, the Redskins chased down the Buccaneers before they were able to take a big step forward with an upset victory. The Broncos' next step along the road to a possible AFC West title came Sunday in Seattle, where Denver hoped John Elway could shake a slump that had him ranked 3rd to last in passing in the AFC. But once again, it looked like Denver's passing attack would have another hard time getting off the ground. Jacob Green and the Seahawks did not allow Denver a first down in the first quarter, giving the Seattle offense an opportunity to build an early lead.
Craig drops, steps up, throws the pass. Williams, touchdown! Caught it at the 1-yard line and circled into the end.
Seattle stormed ahead 14-0 before Elway and his air attack finally took flight.
Elway's got it, back to pass. Seahawks rush 4. Elway a pump fake down there, pass, and Elway gets away, delivers one deep down the left side. Caught by Denver at the 22.
Denver rallied to tie the score at 21 and had a chance to win with 16 seconds remaining.
27-yard effort. It's down. Treadwell gets the kick away, and it is no good. He missed it off to the right.
David Treadwell shanked the 27-yard attempt for his 3rd miss of the day, but in overtime he would get one more chance to make good.
Will Treadwell miss another one?
Snap, ball down. Treadwell's kick on the way. Let's go home. The Broncos have won it.
The Seahawks are now 0-3 at home this season, while the 6-1 Broncos seem to find a new way to win almost everywhere they go.
Denver Broncos are on a roll, and they have the best record right now in the AFC.
And held the Raiders to a season-low 7 points, while the usually phenomenal Randall Cunningham passed for just 64 yards, his lowest output since 1986. While the Eagles' aerial attack sputtered, their ground game was able to grind away at the Raiders. On a day when Cunningham couldn't put up big numbers, he was fortunate his teammates were able to pick him up, like the Steelers did for their quarterback Todd Blackledge a week earlier in Cleveland. On Sunday in Houston, though, the only thing Pittsburgh could manage was a goose egg.
Blackledge is back there. Fires one, picked off, pulled in at the 48-yard line, and here they come.
The Oilers picked off Blackledge twice and held the Steelers to 132 total yards, while Warren Moon threw 3 touchdown passes to pace Houston to its first shutout win since 1980.
Snap back to Moon, and Moon goes deep. He's got his man down there. The ball pulled in and full stride by Curtis Duncan. Touchdown, Houston.
Just a beautifully thrown ball right on the money. Duncan had outrun Dwayne.
Houston fans must love it. A beautiful win under a beautiful moon. And in Buffalo, a similar romance is in the air. The Bills hope to maintain their lip lock on the top spot in the AFC East Sunday. And Buffalo's newest sweetheart, Frank Reich, contributed to the affair with 3 touchdown passes. Andre Reed slipped behind the Jets defense for his 5th touchdown of the year. But he wasn't the only one out of control Sunday. As has been the Jets' tune all year, anytime they get nearer their end zone destination, the more they're slip, sliding, and dropping away. Ken O'Brien had 6 passes dropped Sunday as he completed just 11 of 29. But he probably preferred watching balls bounce along the AstroTurf, because when they weren't, he was. Buffalo brought O'Brien to his knees 5 times Sunday and brought the Jets their 4th straight loss. The Bills are in sole possession of first place in the AFC East with a 5-2 record. And if they can continue to give opposing quarterbacks headaches, they might just beat themselves a path to the playoffs. Coming up on Inside the NFL, Kansas City's powerful running back Christian Okoye rolls over the Cowboys. A Where Are They Now look at Leroy and Dewey Selman. And on NFL Forum, 49er Steve Young discusses the frustrations of limited playing time. Are you kidding? The Vikings dumped Rodney Peete 8 times, but he wasn't the only one who felt the Vikings' wrath, as number 97 Henry Thomas greeted Barry Sanders with a Rydell tattoo. In light of their defense's play, Herschel Walker's first touchdown as a Viking didn't make any headlines.
Walker, and it's Herschel over the top. He's hit, but he dives in. Touchdown, Minnesota.
But here's some front-page news. For the first time since November 1983, the Vikes are in sole possession of first place in the NFC Central. In Phoenix, it was hard to strum up interest in a game between two teams heading south.
Falcons down there close. Miller, as they blitz it, dumps out a screen to Settle, completing the 20, the 15, the 10, the 5. Touchdown, Settle in the corner.
John Settle's touchdown against the snoozing Cardinal defense proved little more than a tease for Falcon fans awaiting the team's first road win of the year. Things have been going the wrong way for the Falcons all year, which might explain why Deion Sanders toyed with his own version of the misdirection play, which was nothing more than another Atlanta misadventure. About the only player who didn't confuse game time with siesta time was J.T. Smith, who snared 7 catches to raise his league-leading total to 54, as the Cardinals won for the first time in a month.
All right, look. Our team, man, all 3 phases of our team today, one play at a time, get after this bunch. We'll get out of here the way we want to get out of here, with 1 in our win column. Let's go. Let's go.
If the Chiefs' goal was getting out of the game with a win, then the Cowboys' goal must have been getting out alive. The only thing more relentless than the Chiefs' defense was its star rusher, Christian Okoye.
Christian, get down, get your pads down, and make a hole if there isn't one.
2nd and 9.
Deeps, handoff, Okoye up the middle to the 5. Touchdown, Okoye. Oh, mercy. Well, all he needs is a couple of blocks. Boy, he is too big and too fast to be playing running back in the NFL.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
100%?
Yeah.
Good.
Nick Lowry kicks off for the Chiefs. His leg's going to get tired. James Dixon takes it at the 3, brings it up, left 15, 20, 25, 30, cutback 40. Dixon's gone. James Dixon, 97 yards for the...
Dallas's first kickoff return for a touchdown since 1975 had the NFL's worst team believing it had a chance for its first win. And when safety Kevin Porter hesitated, former Chief Paul Palmer taught him a lesson.
Cut back up the middle, first down, 40, 45, midfield, he's gone. Paul Palmer to the 20, Paul Palmer all the way, 63 yards for a Cowboy touchdown. He falls over on his back in the end zone.
It's all on you. Now, you understand what happened to you?
Yeah.
What happened? No, that didn't. You missed the tackle, but that isn't what happened to you. What happened to you is when the ball started away, you didn't go running in there quickly. You kind of drifted in there, and all of a sudden when it came back, you were too far away from the stack, and that's why you missed the tackle.
In the end, the Chiefs needed ex-Cowboy quarterback Steve Pellure to preserve the victory. The newest Chief was a big hit with the home fans, but big hits are something Marty Schottenheimer doesn't always like.
Don't take that hit. We'll have Emil Harry playing quarterback.
Still, it might not matter who plays quarterback as long as Okoye continues to have his signature 100-yard days. After 2 consecutive losses, the Chicago Bears went back into basic training. But on Monday night in Cleveland, it was Michael Dean Perry and the Browns who put up the best defense. The Cleveland defense held Chicago scoreless for over 55 minutes and came up big on a fourth-quarter goal line stand, setting off the normally quiet and reserved dog-pound crowd. However, the real fireworks came one play later from the Browns offense.
Behind Kosar, who is going to throw on first down. Going deep, left side, Slaughter open, has it at the 40. The foot race is on. What's the Slaughter to the 30, to the 25, spins around, he's gone all the way for a touchdown.
Check the record book.
That may be the longest.
The Bernie Kosar to Webster Slaughter 97-yard touchdown was the longest score from scrimmage in Browns history, and it handed the Bears a third straight loss for the first time under Mike Ditka.
Hey, Chicago may not be in as much trouble as those rock-bottom teams we just saw, but if you look at the Bears' performance over the past 3 weeks, you have to look long and hard.
Giants continue their winning ways, while the Jets remain grounded. Meet their fans when Inside the NFL comes to you from Sports, Broadway in New York City. Comedian David Brenner takes a humorous look at football fans when he hosts NFL Forum. All that and more when Len Dawson and Nick Bonaconti bring you HBO's Inside the NFL. Coming up next.
At the midway point of this NFL season, New York City finds its teams going in opposite directions. The Giants are in first, the Jets are in last. Stay tuned as we take a look at where they are headed.
I'm Lisa Burkhardt. On this week's cover story, we'll take you to the Meadowlands, where we'll tell you what the real difference is between the Giants and the Jets.
And I'm Y.A. Tittle. And I threw 240 touchdown passes in my pro career. Stay tuned and see what I'm doing now.
We're in Manhattan, where New York's fans and players have gathered as they will discuss the winning Giants and losing Jets in this special edition of Inside the NFL. in-season battle between the top two defenses in the NFC and a Monday mischief night in New York. The perfect combination for an evening of terror. Lawrence Taylor had 2.5 of the Giants' 6 sacks and had Viking quarterbacks shaking on this bright night. But if they thought action in the pocket was scary, they must have been horrified when they looked downfield. Pepper Johnson's touchdown evened the score at 7 and marked the first points of any kind against Minnesota in the third quarter this year. But it was just the beginning of the quarter and the beginning of big Giant plays. New York special teams forced 2 consecutive Alfred Anderson fumbles on kickoffs. And with Phil Simms sidelined with a sprained ankle, Jeff Hostetler was more than willing to take advantage of the fine field position. The Giants earned their 7th win of the year and their best start since 1930. And with new heroes for each win, it might not be their stars, but their depth that keeps them in first place. If the Giants are forced to continue to win without their starting quarterback, they need only turn to their upstate New York neighbors to learn how. For a dominating defense and some good old-fashioned ball control offense have the Bills at 3-0 since Jim Kelly went down. To an ailing quarterback, there's no more beautiful sight than blockers who control the line of scrimmage all day long. Tight end Keith McKellar followed all the way through on his block in an effort typical of a line that sprung its backs for 280 yards rushing, the NFL's highest single-game total this year.
That's a great block right there. That's a great block right there.
That was pretty.
Beautiful block.
That was pretty. That was pretty.
When a line holds its blocks, a runner can usually find somewhere to run. Some new moves and some old ones added up to 121 yards for Larry Kinnebrew, the second best day of his career. But it was only second best on his team, behind the career-high 148 yards of Thurman Thomas.
And a run by Thurman Thomas to the right, cutting back, driving through, breaking a tackle, still on his feet at the 20, at the 15, down to the 10-yard line, breaking down to the 5, and in for the touchdown on a spectacular run. And the Bills have scored. The Bills have scored on a brilliant run.
On the tight end, they run away from the move. So that gives up Jeff, gives up Brian, and me. The tackle just sits there.
With Miami's defense fixated on the run, the Bills dropped a well-timed bomb.
Down the sideline for Beebe. He's got it. Don Beebe. What a play. What a remarkable play.
Don Beebe's touchdown left only one question unanswered.
Motion by Clayton, the pass by Marino coming up, and he is rushed and sacked. He is sacked on the play by Jeff Wright.
By getting the one-on-one matchups they wanted, the Bills' front seven manhandled the Dolphins' line.
Pass upfield, intercepted. Kirby Jackson has it. And he cuts back to the 30-yard line. He's still on his feet at the 20, at the 15, 10-5, touchdown, Kirby Jackson.
At the expense of the league's most exciting passer, the Bills prove that rushing and defense can still be fun in the NFL. One team that isn't having any fun this year is the New York Jets. New York was forced to face the world champ Sunday, And for the Jets' offensive line and quarterback Ken O'Brien, who's had more hits than Broadway this season, the stage was set for yet another flop. O'Brien was sacked 9 times Sunday, and once again, Joe Walton had to rely on his defense for his only offense.
Roger Craig fumbles the ball. Just pick it up on the bounce. McMillan brings it down the sideline. He'll go into the end zone. Touchdown, New York Jets.
New York's defense has outscored its offense 28-16 over the past 5 weeks. But while they continue to find the end zone, so do their opponents. Third stringer Steve Bono sent a bomb towards the New York skyline, and skyscraper Jerry Rice went between Twin Towers to get it.
Rice is there. Leaping catch. Oh, my, what a catch for a touchdown.
With just 1 win through 8 games, the Jets can only look to the heavens for some mercy. And unless some comes, they'll probably suffer through a sad, sad second half. In the history of the Jets and Giants, they have played each other only 6 times. Their records head-to-head, 3-3.
Well, those 3 wins were probably when Joe Namath was quarterback.
Even when a third straight home loss seems imminent. Early on, the Bucks had the home fans seeing red as the Bengals went looking for a hero while trailing 16-14. Enter the Cincy running game, which simply refused to brook another loss in the jungle. And with everyone in the stadium expecting the run, a blonde Superman filled the skies.
Brooks takes the ball on the handoff. No, he doesn't. Boomer holds the ball. Lobs down. There's Holman all alone. Steps in for the touchdown.
And Esiason will look toward his left, gets the pass away. It is caught. Touchdown, Eddie Brown.
Boomer's going to drop back and throw it. Look, goes down toward the end zone. Eddie Brown, touchdown.
Boomer Esiason's 5 touchdown passes were an NFL single-game season high, and the Bengals' 8 touchdowns overall left the Bucks with some grisly game films to watch. Appearances can be deceiving. For example, the best performance last week wasn't courtesy of a bear, but rather a lion. Barry Sanders, to be exact. And for those who think this diminutive dynamo isn't big enough to be a force in the NFL, just remember, Clark Kent's hometown is Smallville. And while Green Bay isn't the largest metropolis, they have a quarterback who's pretty slick.
Across the middle, touchdown, Sterling Sharp. Sharp coming across the middle, quick rhythm pattern, and McCoskey has thrown his 15th touchdown pass of the season.
Trailing by a touchdown late in the 4th quarter, the Lions called on another rookie who wasn't about to go belly up. Rodney Pete's touchdown sent the game into overtime, where Packer kicker Chris Jackie's 3rd field goal of the day evened the Pack's record at 4-4. In New Orleans, nothing short of a gag order can keep some rookies quiet. But it was the Saints' defense, led by Pat Swilling, number 56, which silenced the Falcons in a more conventional manner. Swilling recorded 3 sacks and forced 2 fumbles while leading a Saints defense which simply outmuscled an anemic Falcon attack. But as impressive as the Saints' D was, it was merely Superboy to Dalton Hilliard's Superman, as Hilliard accounted for more total offense than the entire Atlanta team. Hilliard's 2 touchdowns proved enough to power the Saints to their 3rd consecutive win, putting them just a game out of 2nd in the NFC West. Since moving to the New Jersey Meadowlands, the overall record of the Giants and the Jets are almost identical. Gangsters last Sunday, And early on, their Halloween spirit paid off as they were treated to an early lead, courtesy of Andre Rison. But not even Rison and his All Hallows choreography could stop Sunday's most conniving trickster, 35-year-old New England quarterback Steve Grogan.
Grogan back to pass on first down. Steps up, he's going to go long, near side, has Morgan in midfield, catches it, and goes out of bounds at the 32-yard line of Indianapolis.
In the time of the year when spirits are summoned from the past, Grogan completed a career-high 28 passes, and it was the veteran's sleight of hand that got the Patriots to overtime for kicker Greg Davis.
In overtime to win.
He hit it.
Davis has got more than enough leg. It's good! The Patriots win it in overtime!
While Davis was putting his best foot forward in the New England win, the Cardinals were putting their feet up for some pregame relaxation. But once things got started, there was no rest for Dallas. Here, failure to execute a double team on Freddie Joe Nunn resulted in a big loss for Paul Palmer. Things grew worse for the mistake-prone Cowboys, who wasted rare scoring opportunities by throwing two key second-half interceptions, including the fatal miscue late in the third quarter. Michael Zordich's touchdown was the Cards' only one of the day, and it helped lower the haunted Cowboys record to an eerie 0-8, which was almost as spooky as seeing legendary Steelers center Mike Webster in a Chiefs costume at Three Rivers. As it turned out, Sunday was no treat for Webster and quarterback Steve DeBerg, despite some misguided tricks by the Steelers. The biggest treat in Pittsburgh lately has been the Steelers' surprising climb to 4-4 behind their determined young defense. The Steelers' defense was only half the story last Sunday as the long ball returned to the Steeler game plan with a vengeance behind a healthy Bubby Brister.
Sending Williams in motion to the left. Bubby is back there. Bubby pumps once and going deep for Lips. Lips downfield, covered, pulls it in at the 15. Lips, touchdown Pittsburgh. Lou Lips goes for the TD. 60.
While Steeler fans were treated to a Halloween win, the man who was always in costume took his team to Cleveland and showed Bernie Kosar that the Oilers fully embraced the true meaning of this holiday. After a painful first half, the Browns picked up the seasonal spirit and emptied a bag full of tricks on Houston.
Goes to Metcalf. Here's the flea flicker back to Kosar. Webster Slaughter is wide open. Got the ball at the 40, 30. He's gone. Webster Slaughter is gone for a touchdown. 80 yards on the flea flicker there. No flags, and the Browns have the lead.
It was the Browns' razzle-dazzle and October trickery which gave them a 28-17 one-of-a-kind win.
It's science fiction time at Cleveland Stadium in an unbelievable wild sequence of plays. We may never see anything like this again.
If you want a season ticket to the Giants or Jets, it may take a while. Both teams have approximately 14,000 people on their waiting list. Sunday, some in Chicago were more than a little bit anxious for the slumping Bears to get going. Frustrated by a 3-game losing streak, Chicago sought to return to basic Bear football. Veteran Richard Dent shut down the Rams' rushing attack by choosing the most direct course to the ball carrier. And safety Marcus Paul overcame his rookie jitters to stall LA's passing game. In the third quarter, the Bears and Rams were stalemated at 3, and both teams looked for someone to step forward and take control. Often lost in the shuffle of a talented Bears squad, quarterback Jim Harbaugh emerged to save the game. Then he scored the winning touchdown himself.
Mustering goes in motion to the right. Harbaugh on a keeper. Launches over the middle of the line. Touchdown!
Chicago's victory put them back in a tie for first place in the NFC Central and was a tremendous confidence builder for the Bears' former first-round draft choice. Hoping to get their first win at home this season were the Seattle Seahawks, but a slim 3-0 lead gave way in the final minutes of the fourth quarter.
The blitz coming, throws to the end zone. There, caught!
What a catch!
Touchdown, Arthur Cox!
With only 40 seconds left, Dave Craig rallied the Seahawks.
Chargers rush only 4. Craig goes for the pass in the end zone. Touchdown, Seahawks! Blades caught that one on the fly, 8 yards deep. And the Seahawks go back on top.
Craig saved his best for last in a game that didn't seem to start until the 2-minute warning. Starting upon a new path were the Los Angeles Raiders as they sought a solution to their quarterback problem. Steve Berline revived his struggling offense by throwing 2 touchdown passes to Mervin Fernandez. Scoring on their first 2 possessions, the Raiders had a lead they never relinquished.
Motion, tossed back to the left side. Bo cuts inside, gets hit by Alvin. Breaks tackle, he's at the 40, he's at the 50, cuts back, he's gone. They'll never catch him. Touchdown, Bo Jackson.
That's the threat that he is.
In just 3 games, Bo Jackson has become the Raiders' leading rusher, so great runs in LA are no big deal. But when a team's quarterback is its #1 runner, you just don't expect to see much fancy footwork. So what else would Buddy Ryan do but open the game with 13 consecutive running plays?
The handoff underneath goes to Byers. Byers across the 10, at the 5. Byers for the touchdown!
It was a simple approach. Grind it out on offense, attack on defense. In the first quarter, it was a game plan that worked to perfection.
Cunningham has thrown just once so far. He backs up, floating it for the end zone. Touchdown, Chris Carter!
The Eagles led 14-0 before the game became the aerial duel many expected.
No way back. He's floating it for the end zone for Johnson. He finds but has it for a touchdown. As the flow of this game has changed dramatically.
The shootout was more Denver's style, and they took a 24-21 fourth quarter lead. But Randall Cunningham brought the Eagles back to earth. and set up the game-saving score.
Cunningham to Byers, off left tackle, blasts in for the touchdown, and the Eagles are back on front.
And some veteran legs looked like they could run all day. Greg Bell carried the ball 8 times for 58 yards in the first quarter alone, and the Rams took a 7-3 lead when number 24, Buford McGee, held up Scott Studwell long enough to give Bell a path to the end zone.
Hey, I need you to tell me when you need a rest now. Huh? Hey, 150.
Yardage wouldn't come quite so easily the rest of the way for Bell or anyone else.
Come on, keep him going now.
Trying to move the ball was often frustrating and sometimes very painful. Defensively, Minnesota could have leveled a truck, but offensively, the only way the Vikings could dent the scoreboard was with the right foot of kicker Rich Carlos, whose 6 field goals built an 18-7 fourth quarter lead. Yet it didn't look like Carlos's foot would be enough when the Rams' offense finally kicked into gear.
Here's the pitch to Bell, left side. He's in. Touchdown, Los Angeles.
Greg Bell's score put the Rams up 21-18 with just 28 seconds remaining. The Vikings only had time for a prayer, which number 84, Hassan Jones, tried to answer, despite being surrounded by 4 white jerseys. Jones' amazing catch set up Rich Carlos to try and tie the score with 8 seconds left.
On the way. It is good.
Carlos tied an NFL record with his 7th field goal of the game, but the most pivotal kick of the day came on the Rams' first possession of overtime. Mike Merriweather's blocked punt out of the end zone marked the first time in NFL history an overtime game was decided by a safety. And though the Vikings' victory wasn't a thing of beauty, they're once again looking good, alone atop the NFC Central. Facing a Jets team which has been losing ugly, the New England Patriots appeared to be sitting pretty. Early on, though, nothing was prettier than Ken O'Brien's passing.
Looking for Burkett. Corner pattern. He's out there. Makes the catch. Touchdown.
O'Brien's second touchdown pass of the day gave the Jets a 12-point lead in the fourth quarter. But in the game which saw more than 900 yards of offense, the Patriots had little trouble running down the lead. Mark Wilson's scoring strike to Hartley Dykes gave the Patriots a 2-point lead with just over a minute to play. But with time running out, the Jets had the last chance for a win.
Long ball, a snap, placed down, a kick, and it's good. The New York Jets win it, 27-26.
Pat Leahy's field goal reintroduced New York to victory for the first time in 6 games. In Atlanta, it was wise not to skip the introductions as prime time. Deion Sanders split playing time between his customary cornerback spot and wide receiver. Unfortunately, the only thing he caught was abuse. Not so Buffalo's Andre Reed, who snared 5 catches to raise his league-leading total to 53. Still, it was the Falcons who held the most coveted number, a 6-point lead with less than 2 minutes remaining. But before Falcons fans could celebrate in earnest, the Bills gave it one more shot. Don Beebe's 85-yard return was of the highest caliber and set up Larry Kinnebrew's one-yard scoring plunge, which gave the Bills the lead with 29 seconds remaining. But the Falcons refused to surrender, and with 2 seconds remaining had a chance to pull out the victory.
Going to try a long field goal. McFadden, long, good!
Paul McFadden's 50-yard field goal won the game for Atlanta 30-28 and gave Falcons fans something to talk about, just for kicks. Jimmy Johnson has found out that 0-8 can be an awfully lonely place in the NFL, and while many were wondering if Dallas would ever win, the Cowboys finally stopped unraveling Sunday night in Washington, behind recently acquired running back Paul Palmer.
Walls on a draw play up the middle to Palmer. To the 30, Palmer to the 20, Palmer to the 10, Palmer to the 5. Finally they catch him at the 4-yard line.
Palmer's 110 rushing yards quieted the RFK crowd and woke up the Cowboys' punchless offense, which has scored the fewest points in the league this season. The fact that the Cowboys were neither penalized nor turned the ball over also broke new ground for Dallas. But the ones who dug deepest were the Dallas defenders. The league's second-worst defense stifled the NFL's top-rated offense, and the 13-3 upset victory had Johnson more than happy to see the end of his perfect record, and a temporary end to his perfect head of hair. While the Cowboys left Washington with their first win in hand, the Eagles went out west, waiting to sink their claws into the 2-6 San Diego Chargers. Unfortunately for Philadelphia, the Chargers' cast was much stronger than expected. San Diego swarmed Randall Cunningham for 5 sacks, including 3.5 by number 91, Leslie O'Neal. The Chargers' outside linebacker, who spent 2 years rehabilitating a severely injured knee, brought his season total to 9.5 sacks. And while O'Neal helped smother the Philadelphia offense, Jim McMahon lowered the boom on the Eagle defense.
Off play action, Jimbo to throw, looking long, throwing deep, Anthony Miller got it! 10, goal line, touchdown, San Diego!
Anthony Miller burned the Eagles for 129 yards and 2 touchdowns, but despite their lackluster first-half execution, Philadelphia was not quite ready for the guillotine. Keith Byers' fourth-quarter touchdown tied the game at 17. But while the Eagles were banking on overtime, San Diego put in a late bid for a win. Jim McMahon's 49-yard completion to Wayne Walker set up Chris Barr for a chance at a last-second victory.
David Archer to spot the ball for Barr, a 49-yarder. It's on the way. It's off. The kick is good! Chris Barr hammers a 49-yard field goal.
San Diego's upset put a serious shock into the Eagles, but it was nothing compared to the scare the Cincinnati Bengals defense got from Bo Jackson, perhaps the most dangerous runner in the game, and the key to the Raiders' resurgence under new head coach Art Shell.
Here's the handoff now to Bo, and Bo slashes down the middle. He's at the 2, the 1, carries a man over. Touchdown, Raiders! What a dynamic, explosive drive by Bo Jackson for the final 7 yards. trying to sweep the left side. Turns it up to the 10, 15, up the left side to 20. He's at the 30. Maybe nobody will get him. 50, 40. He's got a blocker. He's going to the 20, the 10. Touchdown Raiders! Bo Jackson, 92 yards. Holy Toledo. Boy, does Cincinnati have something to think about now.
Jackson's 159 yards made things easy for Shell, but the new coach is a longtime Raider, and he is bringing some vintage Raiders football to his team. And vintage Raider football means the long ball.
Play fake pitch by Schrader, and he's airing it out, going deep to Willie Gault, and Gault makes a diving catch on the 20-yard line. Holy Toledo! Gault to the left, while Alexander and Fernandez are to the right, and a long heave up the field to Gault, makes the catch beyond the 50, heads across the field to the 40, all the way to the right to the 30. A man slips and falls, 20, 10, touchdown Raiders! The big strike again!
On defense, L.A. also played some old-time Raider rough and tumble. The restoration of the old Raider attitude and enthusiasm had Los Angeles making the big play on offense and defense in Sunday's 28-7 upset victory over the Bengals. The win put the Raiders' record at 4-1 under Art Shell and vaulted them into contention in the AFC West. And if the longtime member of the Raider family continues to revive the silver and black tradition, post-game congratulations from his sons might become a weekly tradition.
Are you like me after watching the Raiders the last 5 weeks? They really believe that they are back. That wasn't the case the early part of the season. After 4 ball games under head coach Mike Shanahan, they were 1-3. And then the head man, Al Davis, made a change and named Art Shell, former Raider, now Pro Football Hall of Famer, as the head coach, and he does it the Raider way. That's with great defense, throwing the ball deep and getting the ball to that man, Bo Jackson. Bo Jackson is averaging 7.4 yards per carry since he has returned. Looking at the standings, 5-4.
K.C. Wolf, that ferocious and furry madcap monster, was at it again last weekend. Out for a Sunday drive and content to let the good times and the Seahawks roll. The Chiefs sacked Dave Craig 5 times and forced 8 Seattle fumbles. Ironically, though, was a Chiefs fumble that led to the Seahawks' only touchdown.
4 wide receivers. Seahawks on a 4-man pass rush. Balleur airs it out on the left side. He's got his man out there. That's McNair. Gets away from a couple of tacklers. Across the 35 to the 38-yard line. Ball is fumbled. Picked up on the right sideline. That's going to be a touchdown, Seahawks.
Nesby Glasgow gave Seattle an early lead, but then Kansas City's quarterback of the day, Steve Balleur, stepped forward. Balleur's been in KC just 3 weeks, so he may have trouble remembering plays. But obviously it didn't take him long to figure out who should get the ball. Christian Okoye's 8th touchdown helped even the score, and since scurrying through Seahawks seems so simple, Balleur decided to prance out of the pocket and put 6 more points on the board. It took him a while to get out of Dallas, but if he keeps leading the Chiefs to win, Steve Balleur might find a happy home in Kansas City. Happy to be home in Candlestick Park for the first time in over a month were the 49ers. And while much has changed in San Francisco over the past few weeks, some things remain the same, like the brilliance of Joe Montana.
15 yards to the 45 as they try to beat the clock. A slant to Taylor. He beats the first wall, gets away to the 15. He's to the 10. He's to the 5. Ball is in the end zone.
Montana missed nearly 2 games with a bad knee, but he returned in fine fashion Monday night, firing 3 touchdown passes. With Montana leading the way, San Francisco assured itself of the best record of any team in the 80s and moved to 8-1 atop the NFC West. Sitting atop the NFC East with just one loss are the Giants and Lawrence Taylor. LT has made a habit of chasing down quarterbacks, and Sunday was no exception. It probably was no surprise Taylor had 3 of New York's 7 sacks, but what was a pleasant surprise was the day turned in by New York's backup quarterback.
Looks, he's going to run. He's going to get the first down. 15, then the 10. Stiff arm to the 5. He's going to score.
Making his second start ever, Jeff Hostetler rushed for 2 touchdowns.
Fakes the handoff. Hostetler rolls left. He's going to go in. Scores.
While his fleet feet probably reminded few of injured Phil Simms, his ability to stand in the pocket and deliver did.
And Hostetler has the ball. Hostetler throws a little bit deep. It is complete for a touchdown. Taken in at the 12-yard line. And Steven.
Hostetler led his team to its 8th win and accounted for 3 touchdowns in a day he'll probably never forget. Lambeau Field, site of many unforgettable Bear-Packer battles, and Sunday for Chicago's newest starting quarterback, Jim Harbaugh, a field he would grow quite accustomed to. Harbaugh had his troubles Sunday as sharpshooting number 97 Tim Harris set his sights for a pair of sacks. Like the classic games of the distant past, this one turned into a defensive struggle. But unlike the games of the recent past, the Pack had a chance to win it. Trailing by 6 in the 4th quarter, Don Majkowski twice had the ball deep in Bear territory, and twice he had Ron Rivera take it away. But the 3rd time was a charm for the Magic Man. Or was it?
4th and goal from the 14. Majkowski with the snap. Back with some time. Looking. Now stepping up. On the run. He's going to have to throw in the end zone. Throw it on. And touchdown! Sterling Sharp! He caught it. And he threw it in between 2. And what a throw by Majkowski with 32 seconds to go in the game.
Field officials ruled Majkowski had crossed the line of scrimmage, but replay officials saw it differently.
After further review, we have a reversal. Touchdown.
The Pack's first win over the Bears since '84. Maybe they deserve to celebrate twice. Coming up on Inside the NFL, Sunday's highlights of this year.
Everybody, hold some. Take some ass on 3. 1, 2, 3.
The way Tampa Bay came out against Cleveland did not resemble a team on a 3-game losing streak.
Good hustle. He gets rid of the ball so damn quick it don't matter. Just stay on him. If he ever pulls it down, we got him.
However, sometimes Vinny Testaverde got rid of the ball a little too quickly. Cleveland's secondary returned 2 interceptions for scores in a 20-second span, and the Browns never looked back.
Langhorne in motion, Kosar 3-step drop, firing outside, Metcalf wide open to the 20, 15-10, dodges 1 tackle at the 5, 4-3-2-1, touchdown, and another brilliant move.
This man is unbelievable.
Rookie Eric Metcalf is not among the league's statistical leaders, but few other runners are capable of gliding through a defense with such style and grace.
Handoff, Metcalf makes the reverse, cuts inside of the 40, Metcalf outside of the 35-30, down the sidelines to the 20, inside to the 15, to the 10, Eric Metcalf has done it again. Aaron Metcalf has just provided a clinic in broken field running.
So far for Mouse Davis, laughter has been the only payoff for his run-and-shoot offense. But it may be just a matter of time until teams stay clear of Detroit. The Lions kept it close for most of the game, but in the end, even the sensational Barry Sanders couldn't catch the Oilers. Eric Dickerson has shown a move or two during his career, but Sunday a sore hamstring caused him to miss only his 4th start in 7 seasons, making the Colts unsure which direction to venture.
Looks, throws to the sideline. It's caught by Rison. Rison is hit, struggles, trying to get back. Versus comes to the near side, breaks it back up the sideline, out of bounds. Touchdown! He didn't go out of bounds. Rison scores!
While Indianapolis receivers may make a good argument for the Colts to loosen the reins on a passing attack, Miami unleashed rookie running back Sammy Smith. And for the first time since 1985, the Dolphins rushed for more yards in a game than they passed. However, when it came to scoring, the Dolphins returned to their first love. Dan Marino's 2 touchdown passes were the difference, ending a 3-game losing streak against the Colts and restoring belief the Dolphins are capable of returning to the playoffs. In the AFC West, no one can catch the Broncos, and John Elway did his best to make sure Denver kept its distance.
As Elway is back, hops up in the pocket, throwing it to the end zone for Vance Johnson, and he has got it for a touchdown.
With the emergence of rookie running back Bobby Humphrey, the Broncos seem destined for postseason play.
Humphrey, 15, 10, 5, end zone, touchdown Humphrey.